Dad's birthday dinner was going exactly as expected. My brother David holding court about his role as operations manager at Richardson Manufacturing, while I quietly checked notifications about my latest corporate acquisition. Another salad, Sarah? David smirked, cutting into his expensive steak. I guess that's all you can afford with your mysterious consulting work. What do you even do all day? I glanced at my phone as it buzzed. Acquisition paperwork finalized. Board votes unanimous. Transfer of ownership complete. Management announcement scheduled. Oh, this and that, I replied vaguely, hiding my smile behind my wine glass. How's the factory running, David? Brilliantly, he boasted, straightening his tie. We just landed the Peterson contract. Dad, you should have seen me in that meeting. Pure genius. Dad beamed at his golden child while Mom nodded approvingly. They'd always preferred David's traditional career path to my unstable business ventures. The factory's been in the family for 3 generations, Dad reminded me for the 1000th time. Real work, Sarah. Not whatever it is you do on your laptop all day. My phone lit up again. Management transition team in place. New ownership documents filed. Press release approved. Factory floor memo prepared. Speaking of the factory, David continued, we're finally modernizing the East Wing. Nothing you'd understand, Sarah, real business decisions, not internet stuff. I checked my watch. Right on schedule, the dining room door opened. Excuse me, the maitre d' approached our table. There's an urgent message for Ms. Richardson. That's me, David started to stand. Sarah Richardson, the maitre d' clarified, handing me a folder. I opened it slowly, savoring the moment. Oh, just some paperwork that needs immediate attention. Actually, I glanced at my watch again. We should be getting a call any moment. Sarah, Mom sighed, it's your father's birthday. Can't your little consulting work wait? Right on cue, the restaurant's manager approached with a phone. Urgent call for Madame CO. David snorted into his wine. CO? Sarah. I took the phone, putting it on speaker. Go ahead, James. Madame CO, the acquisition is complete. Richardson Manufacturing is officially under Phoenix Industries' control. Would you like me to implement the management changes now? The sound of Mom's wine glass shattering was almost as satisfying as watching David's face drain of color. Richardson Manufacturing? Dad stammered. That's our company. Was your company, I corrected, pulling out my tablet. As of 4 minutes ago, it's mine. Along with the other 12 manufacturing facilities in our portfolio. My phone buzzed continuously. David's office access revoked. New management team entering facility. Board resignation letters received. Family shares transferred to Phoenix Industries. This is a joke. David stood up, his voice rising. You can't, you don't. Actually, I can and I did. I smiled, turning my tablet to show them the acquisition documents. Phoenix Industries has been acquiring manufacturing facilities across 3 continents. Yours was just the latest addition to our modernization program. Phoenix Industries? Mom whispered. The company that's been all over the business news? The very same, I confirmed. Though you might know us better as Sarah's little consulting work. The restaurant door opened again, admitting James Chin Maisu. Madam CO, the management transition is underway. Mr. Richardson Jr.'s office is being cleared as we speak. David collapsed back into his chair. My office? Don't worry, I assured him. HR will ship your personal items. Though you might want to delete your browser history first. Our IT team is very thorough. My phone lit up again. Factory floor receiving new ownership announcement. David's executive access terminated. Family parking privileges revoked. Mom's social circle starting to text. Sarah, Dad found his voice. What have you done? Built a global manufacturing empire, I replied calmly, while you were all mocking my laptop work. Turns out those mysterious consulting projects were actually corporate acquisitions. Who you? But the Peterson contract, David sputtered, will be handled by our new management team, I finished. Along with the modernization of not just the East Wing but the entire facility. Welcome to 21st century manufacturing, brother dear. I stood gathering my things. James, implement all plan changes. And David, don't bother going to the office tomorrow. Your keycard won't work. Sarah, please, Mom tried, we're family. Family who never bothered to ask what I actually did, I reminded her. Too busy celebrating David's middle management victories to notice I was building something bigger. My phone buzzed one final time. David's company car GPS tracking activated. Office contents being documented. Family shares value calculated. Mom's country club gossip spreading. I left them sitting there, their expensive dinner growing cold as reality sank in. Outside, my driver waited with the car they'd never known I had. To the factory? He asked. Yes, I smiled. It's time to show my brother what real business looks like. The factory floor looked different at midnight. I stood in what had been David's office, watching the team remove his motivational posters and that ridiculous world's best manager mug he'd bought himself. Your brother's tried to badge in 4 times, my security chief reported. Would you like to see the lobby footage? Put it on the main screen. There he was, frantically waving his revoked keycard, face getting redder with each failed attempt. The same keycard he'd once mockingly tapped against my laptop, telling me to get a real job with a real office. My phone buzzed with sweet karma. David's executive parking spot reassigned. Corner office being renovated. Family shares frozen during transition. Mom's panic texts increasing. Ms. Phoenix, my assistant called. Your father's here with his lawyer. Stanley Green. I laughed. The same Stanley who helped structure this acquisition? This should be interesting. I watched through the security feed as Dad's face fell, seeing his trusted attorney step out of my executive elevator wearing a Phoenix Industries badge. Richard, Stanley nodded to my father, I did try to tell you months ago to pay attention to who was buying up manufacturing companies. But you're my lawyer, Dad sputtered. I represent Phoenix Industries now, Stanley corrected. Sarah's leadership vision was considerably more compelling. My phone lit up again. Factory efficiency audit complete. Management restructuring finalized. David's expense reports flagged. Mom's social circle imploding. The intercom crackled. Madam CEO? The night shift has some questions about the new ownership. I'll address them personally, I decided. Time to show them what real leadership looked like. The factory floor fell silent as I entered, not in designer heels like David's wife always wore on her inspection tours, but in steel-toed boots and a Phoenix Industries hard hat. Your brother never visited past 5 p.m., one supervisor mentioned, clearly surprised. Well, I'm not my brother, I replied, pulling up the facility schematics on my tablet. Now show me where that production bottleneck is happening. For 2 hours I walked the floor learning names, listening to concerns, taking notes on actual improvements, not just the vanity projects David had championed to impress Dad. My phone buzzed continuously. David's executive benefits terminated. Family country club dues revoked. Mom's charity board position compromised. Factory workers sharing positive feedback. Miss Phoenix. A line worker approached hesitantly. Is it true what they're saying? About you building this whole company while your brother was mocking your work? Every word, I confirmed. How's that break room microwave he refused to replace? Still broken. Not anymore, I tapped my tablet. New break room equipment arrives tomorrow. Along with actual coffee, not the cheap stuff he claimed was good enough for factory workers. The news spread across the floor like wildfire. By morning shift change, the story was everywhere. The boss's daughter they'd never seen, the one David called unemployed, was actually their new CEO. My phone lit up again. David's office contents inventoried. Family attempts to access financial records denied. Worker morale surveys showing spike. Mom's social media damage control failing. Your brother's outside again, security reported. With your mother this time. I pulled up the camera feed. Mom stood there in her designer outfit, looking completely out of place against the industrial backdrop. Sarah, honey, she was saying to the intercom, let's discuss this like family. Like family. I pressed the response button. Like all those times you told your friends I was between jobs while I was building this company? But your brother's career. She started. Is no longer my concern, I finished. The factory has new management. Professional management. My phone buzzed one last time. David's computer accessed, irregularities found. Family shares value calculated, transfer complete. Worker suggestions box implemented. Mom's country club membership questioned. I stood at the window of my new office, formerly David's precious corner space, watching the sun rise over my factory. Below, workers were arriving for the morning shift, passing my brother's empty parking spot with its freshly painted sign, reserved for Sue. Your mother's latest text just came in, my assistant noted. We didn't know, followed by 12 crying emojis. Oh, but they should have, I smiled, watching the Phoenix Industries logo being installed over the main entrance. They just never bothered to ask what their unemployed daughter actually did all day. Dawn broke over the factory as I reviewed the first week's transition reports. In 7 days, we'd uncovered more of David's mismanagement than even I had expected. My executive office, his former kingdom, now hummed with actual productivity instead of his endless self-congratulatory meetings. Your brother's expense reports are interesting, my CFO noted, sliding across a tablet. Particularly the client meetings at golf courses and steakhouses. Let me guess, I smiled, scrolling through the data, all with Dad's old business friends? And charged to factory operational costs. The workers' denied raise requests could have been funded just from his lunch budget. My phone buzzed with its morning accountability report. David's executive privileges fully terminated. Family accounts audit complete, discrepancies found. Worker satisfaction up 47% since transition. Mom's social circle experiencing severe status anxiety. Miss Phoenix, my assistant called. The morning shift supervisor has an urgent update. I pulled up the factory floor feed. The changes were already visible: new safety equipment, upgraded break areas, actual ergonomic workstations. Amazing what could be accomplished when management cared about more than their golf handicap. Production efficiency is up 28%, the supervisor reported, barely containing his excitement. Just from implementing the suggestions workers had been giving David for years. The suggestions he called worker whining? I recalled his exact words from a management meeting I'd secretly recorded. Keep tracking the improvements. And make sure everyone knows about the new profit-sharing program. The intercom buzzed. Madam CEO? Your father's here with the family lawyer. A different one this time. Not Stanley. I laughed. Let me guess, they finally figured out he helped structure the takeover? They're demanding a family meeting, security reported. Your mother's also here, wearing what appears to be her board meeting outfit. The one she bought for charity galas? I pulled up the lobby camera. How appropriate for discussing charitable severance packages. My phone lit up continuously. David's executive suite renovation starting. Family shares officially transferred. Worker benefits program launching. Mom's social media crisis deepening. I let them wait in the lobby for exactly 47 minutes. The same time David once made a pregnant worker wait for approval of her medical leave. Send them up, I instructed. Let's show them what their little girl has done with the family business. They entered my office like defeated royalty. Dad clutching his outdated briefcase, Mom in her carefully chosen power suit, their new lawyer trying to hide his nervousness. Sarah, Dad started using his reasonable businessman voice. This hostile takeover dash was completely legal. I cut him off, pulling up the acquisition documents. Your board approved it unanimously. Though they might have paid more attention had they known the mysterious Phoenix Industries was your supposedly unemployed daughter. But the family legacy, Mom tried, her voice wavering. 3 generations of treating workers like disposable assets? I finished, bringing up more screens. Of denying basic improvements while David expensed luxury cars? That legacy? My phone buzzed again. Factory safety ratings improving. Worker healthcare program activated. David's executive perks audit complete. Family country club status revoked. Your brother built relationships, Dad argued. Important connections. You mean like the Peterson contract? I smiled, pulling up more data. The one he's been bragging about? Let's look at those numbers. Their faces fell as I displayed the real figures, the inflated costs, the hidden fees, the personal expenses buried in project budgets. This is what actual business looks like, I explained, showing them real-time production data, efficiency metrics, worker satisfaction scores. Not golf course deals and steakhouse meetings. But the family name, Mom whispered, is finally associated with something positive, I confirmed. Check social media. Our workers are actually proud to be here now. My phone lit up with perfect timing. Factory floor morale at record highs. David's executive suite contents cleared. Family access permanently revoked. Mom's social circle exodus continuing. You've destroyed your brother's career, Dad accused. No, I corrected. His incompetence destroyed his career. I just exposed it. Speaking of which, I pulled up David's private server data, the one he thought was secure. Would you like to explain these creative accounting practices to the board, or should I? Their new lawyer, already looking uncomfortable, began packing his briefcase. The factory is modernizing, I continued. Real modernization, not just David's vanity projects. Workers have equity now. Real benefits. Actual safety protocols. They're workers, Mom protested. They don't understand business. They understand plenty, I cut her off. Like how their new CEO actually walks the factory floor. Knows their names. Listens to their ideas. My phone buzzed continuously. Production efficiency breaking records. Worker suggestions being implemented. David's executive files archived. Family reputation in free fall. Here's what's going to happen. I laid out the terms. David gets a basic severance, more than he deserves given the audit findings. You all sign comprehensive NDAs. The family shares are transferred at current market value. And if we refuse? Dad tried to sound firm. Then the audit results go public. I smiled. How's David's country club membership looking these days? They left looking shell-shocked, their carefully maintained facade of family business success shattered. Through my office windows I could see the factory humming with new energy, workers moving with purpose, pride returning to the floor. Your brother's desk items have been boxed, my assistant reported. Including his Executive of the Year trophy. The one he bought himself? I laughed. Added to the museum of mismanagement we're setting up in the break room. My phone lit up one final time. Factory transformation exceeding projections. Worker equity program launching. Family influence eliminated. Mom's social status officially collapsed. I stood at my window watching my factory, my real legacy, embrace its new future. Below, workers were leaving the night shift, passing the newly installed Phoenix Industries sign with actual smiles. Your mother's latest social media post just went live, my assistant noted. Family businesses require sacrifice. Posted from her suddenly downsized country club account. Oh, they do, I agreed, watching the sun rise on my industrial empire. They just never expected the sacrifice would be their precious son's ego.